Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great today, this evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope your life is everything that you want it to be, and if it's not, make some changes. Okay, so before I get into today's subject, I just wanted to bring up a couple things. One is that the first 2 weeks of fasting, oh my goodness, wasp. The first 2 weeks of fasting can be difficult, so the more that you can prep before you start fasting, the easier those first couple weeks will be. And we will get into that at a later time. Basically, it is, if you can start with a high fat, low carb way of eating a little bit more, it will help your body be able to go longer without eating, and so that way when you start fasting, you can go a little bit longer with, and the hunger pains won't be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And the second thing is that it can sometimes take 6 to 8 weeks before you start seeing the desired results that you want. So don't give up. Hang in there. Just keep going and see what happens. And if at the end of 8 weeks you're like, I'm right where I was before, then at that point you can stop it, continue it, change it up, but don't sell yourself short. Just keep trying. Okay, so today's subject is the flexibility of intermittent fasting. And we're just going to cover as far as times this time. So the first one is 3 meals a day, which we're kind of used to. When I was a child growing up, we got 3 meals a day. We didn't get snacks, which has really been one of the downfalls of the American diet. So what it is you have 12 hours window of fasting, and then a 12-hour window of eating. And then I'm going to cover 3 together. There are 16-8, 18-6, and 24, which basically is you get 16, 18, or 20 hours of fasting, and then you'd have an 8, 6, or 4-hour window of eating. And that's usually done 4 to 5 times a week. The next one is a 24-hour fast, which is like, you eat 1 meal a day, and you eat the same meal every day, like lunch to lunch or dinner to dinner. And that's usually done 2 to 3 times a week. Another one that is usually done 2 to 3 times a week is a 36 or 42-hour fast. And that's where you eat dinner, and then the next day you fast all day. And then the next day you either eat breakfast or you wait until like noon and have lunch as your first meal. Okay, another one is called the 5-2. So 5 days a week you eat normally. In 2 days you restrict your calories to 500 to 600 calories a day. It's usually 500 for women and 600 for men. And you have at least 1 day of non-fasting between the 2 days of fasting. And then another one is called alternate days. You eat normally for 1 day, and then you fast for 1 day, and normal and fast, normal and fast. On your fasting days, you can, if you would like, have up to 500 calories a day. And on these ones where you eat normally, or you can eat whatever you want. Obviously, if you're eating nothing but junk and a ton of it, you don't expect for this to be effective. So it's like, you can mix these up. You can do put these together however you want, and then it's like, okay, I need a change, or I'm gonna just forget fasting. That's the great thing is, you can mix and match this any way you want. For some people, the 3 meals a day is like, that's what I know I can stick with for the rest of my life, or until I achieve my desired results. And there are some people who do they just have 1 meal a day. They do the 20:4, or they do the 24-hour one where they just have dinner every day or lunch every day. Some people, the 5-2 or the alternate days one works great because they never have a day where they're not consuming anything but water or coffee or tea. So they don't really have to experience that hunger, which does decrease as you go along. Now, for me, I'm not at a point where that works for me, because if it's just like, oh, well, 5 days a week you can just eat whatever you want, until I get to the point where my choices in food are better, then yeah, that probably wouldn't work for me. Okay, so that's the flexibility as far as time is concerned. And then I'm going to do a diet review every day, along with whatever subject. So today I'm going to cover the gluten-free diet. So the description of it is, it's a diet that excludes the protein gluten. Why would somebody want to do that? If you have celiac disease, gluten sensitivity, gluten ataxia, which is an autoimmune disorder, a wheat allergy, or IBS, this is a great way to eat if you have any of those issues. The pros for that is, if you do have any of those issues, it can actually be life-saving. It can reduce your symptoms, and weight reduction, because you're cutting out a lot of stuff that people tend to overeat and gain weight. So the cons, that gluten-free does not equate to healthy, or lower in calories and or fat. So a lot of time, if people that, it's pretty much recommended that if you don't have a health issue that requires you to do gluten-free, just you probably shouldn't, unless you're really going to do a lot of research on it. People hear, the new buzzword, oh, gluten-free, and oh, it's healthy, and it's this great, wonderful thing, so everybody should do it. So they go to the store and they look out at the packages, and it's like, which one says gluten-free? So they'll grab that, and they don't bother to look at how much sugar's in it, or how much processing has been done to get it to be gluten-free. Let's see. And in the processing to make it gluten-free, those items could lack critical nutrients. And if you don't know that, you're just going to buy the food that has gluten-free on the label, and not realize, I need to do something different in addition to this, so that I can get all the nutrients that I need. Now, people that have those health issues, and that do the gluten-free way of eating, are probably likely to know that in the processing, nutrients are going to be lost. So so they'll know how to handle all of that accordingly. If you've got any of those health issues, I would definitely suggest looking into gluten-free diet. Of course, always consult your doctor, and get all the information that you can. And I also want to say that if you look into fasting, and you're like, I think I want to do this, check with your doctor. I would gather all the information that I could, so that when I go to the doctor, because not all doctors know everything about everything, or even anything about everything. So take your research with you that you found and present it to your doctor, and go from there. So here's to fasting and health and weight loss and whatever reason that you want to do it. So again, I'm not a medical professional, and I don't give out medical advice. And please check it out with your medical professional before undertaking anything like this, especially if it's going to be, longer than 24 hours. So you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.